Hello, mathematicians. Today's work is about adding and subtracting mixed numbers that have a common denominator, same denominator. So here we go, our first one. So you'll need your whiteboard, your fraction pieces if you have them, or something to write on, and then you'll need your big book, as Gabe calls it. Before you get into the book, start thinking of some ways on your whiteboard or some kind of paper that you can show an equivalent to 5/5. 5/5. So see if you can come up with 6 different ways. I'll give you a couple. 22 22s is equivalent to 5/5. You probably were expecting that one. Now you add in some more. I'll give one more. I'll do 37. 37. So this is just reminding yourself of all different ways to equal 5/5, which of course equals 1. All right, so you should have some more ways there on your whiteboard or on your paper. Next, open up your big book to page 441. And here we have a problem with Raquel and measuring some milk. We'll do 3 reads. So the first read is by me. Raquel measures milk with 1/2 cup measuring cup. She fills the cup 5 times and pours each 1/2 of a cup of a milk into a bowl. How much milk does Raquel pour into the bowl? So the first read, we just think about what is the problem about. Sounds like it's about measuring a whole bunch of milk, putting it in a bowl. Okay, second read will be by Maggie. Maggie, are you available? So Maggie's going to come over and read the problem. And in the second read, you're going to ask yourself, what are you trying to find out? Come on over, Maggie.
Can I read that problem?
Yeah, read that problem.
Okay. Raquel measures milk with a 1/2 cup measuring cup. She fills the cup 5 times and pours each 1/2 of a cup of milk into a bowl. How much milk does Raquel pour into the bowl?
Thanks, Maggie. Okay, so the second read, what are we trying to find out? Looks like how much milk does Raquel pour into the bowl? Third read by me, since nobody else is available. I'll use my deep voice. Raquel measures milk with 1/2 cup measuring cup. She fills the cup 5 times and pours each 1/2 of a cup of milk into a bowl. How much milk does Raquel pour into the bowl? So on that read, ask yourself what information is important. Okay, write down the important information on your whiteboard or on your paper or in your book. Hopefully you wrote down this information right here. 1/2 measuring cup, 5 times. Looks like we have 5 1/2s. Okay. All right. Next is where you solve it, which you can do on page 441. So you can use whatever tools you have. You should have your tiles, but if you don't, you can use a number line. You can draw a picture. So I'm thinking I'm going to first give it a go with a number line. If you'd rather, this is a good time to pause, solve it yourself, and see how I solved it. So there you go. Push pause and you solve it, and then I will show how I solved it. I'm going to do number line. I'm using my touchscreen with Active Studio. We'll see if that works. I'm going to put a 0 here. Then I'm going to do first, that's 1/2. And then she does a second 1/2. 2 halves. Then she does a third one for 3 halves. Then she does a fourth one for 4 halves. And then she does this one for 5 halves. So I'm getting 5 halves for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 halves, which will equal 1, 2, and 1 half, because these are all plus 1 half jumps. So using the number line, I'm getting a little bit messy screen because I'm using my finger. There we go. 2 and 1/2 cups of milk for my answer. All right. So let's see if you agree with me. Next, ask your partner. This will be a little weird unless you've got somebody to talk to at your house. How did you get started? And I started by, let's see, I started by thinking about just 5 1/2s. And in my mind, I could just do 5 1/2 jumps. So I started thinking 5 1/2s. On page 442, explain how you found the total amount of milk Raquel pours into the bowl. So go ahead and explain. Maybe you didn't use a number line. Maybe you did it with the fraction pieces. Maybe you did 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. So explain how you did it. This is probably another way to explain the way I was thinking. And maybe you used a model like this. And you had 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, and then a third one for 1/2. So explain how you did it and solved it. And that's using a mixed fraction because we got 2 wholes and a half. Mixed numbers have wholes and parts. Okay, page 442. Suppose Raquel has another bowl with 2 3/4 cups of milk. Then she pours 1 3/4 cups of milk. How much milk is in the bowl now? So you have the mixed numbers, 2 3/4, and then you have 1 3/4. So that's what the picture shows. 1, 2 3/4, and then 1 3/4. Mixed number part and a fractional part. You can make up 2 3/4 plus 2 3/4. You can break them apart. So how can you decompose 2 3/4? They kind of just told us right there. 2 plus 3/4. Okay? So go ahead and decompose 1 3/4. And you should have 1 plus 3/4. Hopefully you're ahead of me or with me because it's new. Ahead of me or with me. Write an addition equation to decompose 3/4. So that one, you might want to build it if you like or draw it. But you can do 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. What are 2 different ways you can add 2 3/4 and 1 3/4? So think about how you would add those. Up here in the picture, I think I would probably maybe add the wholes together. So 2 plus 1 to get 3. And then you've got a 3/4 plus a 3/4, which would be a 6/4. And then we want to probably modify that 6/4 because 6/4 is going to be 4/4 plus 2/4. So you could say that is 6/4 equals 4/4 plus 2/4 right there. So that's going to be another whole. So you're going to get 5 2/4. So that's one way to do it. Put the wholes together and then put the others together. And you could use a number line. You could decompose all those 3/4. So you could keep the 2 plus 1, keep the wholes. And then you could add 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, and 6/4. So you could do that each fourth that way. And then you'll get the same thing, 3 and 6/4. So you could break those all up and count them, which would turn them to 5 and 2/4, which also equals 5 and 1/2. All of those would be correct. Okay, that's fun. Next on page 442, how does decomposing numbers help you add mixed numbers? So write your thoughts down there. Okay, and for decomposing for me, I think I'll go to my text button. It helps me break it down into the parts, and then it is easy to add. It also helped to have the whole numbers together and then all the mixed parts together, and then to just add those parts when they're common denominators. Okay. Yeah, to mix it. So it helps to break down the parts. It's easier to add. And then I guess I'll just add, it helps to put wholes with wholes, and then fractions with fractions. Okay, for the wholes, put them together, then we put the two fraction parts together, which you can always do. And when it's common, same denominator, it's pretty simple. Okay, so now on the last part that we'll do together is vocabulary. So the thing that we are putting in the vocabulary is mixed number, which if you don't have that on your paper, write in mixed number, because that's our goal for this lesson. So write in your own words what a mixed number is, something about a whole with a fraction. And then you can draw a picture of that. That should be easy. Examples, you can just name some. I'll give you a couple and you can name your own. So like 1 and 1/2 is a mixed number because it has a whole with a fraction. Here's a non-example. 1/3 is not a mixed number. There's no whole part there. Here's another mixed number. 3/2 is also not a mixed number. You can turn it into a mixed number because you can turn it into 1/2. But when it's written that way, it is a fraction. So there's some non-examples. So make sure you get in a picture, do your own words, and then put a couple more examples. All right, so do the next 2 pages on your own, 445 and 446. And I will see you next time. Have a great day, mathematicians. Bye.